Okay, my YouTube people, this video's on my buddy's 98 Dyna Wide Glide. The turn signals won't work. Put LED turn signals on it, and he has one of those Badlanders modules under the seat. His original one went bad, so he put another one in, and now the turn signals don't work. So follow along as I troubleshoot what's going on with this problem. First thing I'm going to do is take the seat off. Here's the module I'll be working on right here. One of the first things I always do is download the schematic for the bike. These schematics I got straight off of Harley-Davidson's website, so they're right and clear, and you can see right here that it's for the right bike. It's a 98 Wide Glide. As you can see from the print, I take a colored highlighter and I highlight the circuits out how I want to see them. Everything in orange is the right side of the bike and everything in green is the left. And then with this factory module right here, I take and do a pin out over here of exactly what they are so I can see it clearly while I'm working. This speeds up in the troubleshooting process greatly. My next guess is I'm going to have to get online and look at the wiring diagram for this module. I can see on this connector this pink wire's been cut on both sides. I'm not sure what that's about. I'm not sure what this plug's for. I'll have to figure that out also. I can see here with this group of wires, somebody put a Dyna 2000i ignition on this motorcycle. And I'm guessing, and this purple wire is for the Vose switch. When you put the Dyna 2000i onto a motorcycle, you eliminate this electronic module. To the Vose switch, you have a V/W that's a violet with a white. I know from working with enough of the Dyna modules that the violet wire is the Vose wire, and then there's the violet with the white, so that definitely goes to the Vose switch here. You also eliminate the factory cam sensor. The Dyna 2000i takes the place of that. Looks like somebody left the factory ignition module in the motorcycle. So what this plug ends up being for is the factory cam position sensor. If you look right here, you got a red with white, green with white, black with white to a 3-pin connector. And that connector went down to the factory cam sensor. And there they are. Black with white, red with white, green with white. So really this could all be eliminated. And that module could be completely eliminated. These 3 wires go over to the coil. The pink wire goes over to the coil. White with a black stripe is the power to the coil. So really you could take all this out. If this were mine, I would certainly take all this out, but it's not. I'm here for the turn signals. There's another module. I'm not really sure what this module's part is yet. This connector here goes to everything in the rear of the bike. The wire colors aren't exactly matching up. I'm just going to probe it. So I have a jumper with a piece of wire sticking out the end. I'm going to go to the plus 12 volts to the battery. Now you have to be careful, this is unfused. And I'm just going to probe each wire and see what happens in the back of the bike as I do it. Okay, this wire here is the left turn signal. And that is the red with white or orange with white, whatever that one is. So after probing these wires, the only one that I see that lights anything up is this red with white here. All the rest of them aren't doing anything, so I'm wondering if the wires aren't damaged under the fender. You can see with this bike it's been lowered quite a bit, so I'm going to get a flashlight and look up under the fender. Okay, so the first thing I notice on this bike when I go to look under the fender is there's a rub mark on the tire here and another rub mark on the tire here. So I'm thinking this is what the issue with the turn signals is. Not sure if you can see that right there, but that's where the wires go into the turn signal housing, and they're completely rubbed by this tire. Right there's a shot of the other side. You can see they're rubbed bare. This is going to need a full rear fender wiring job. So on this bike, I want to go over what caused this problem. The first cause of the problem is somebody went to a 140 rear tire and Then the second cause is the rear shocks are a lower sitting shock. Plus my buddy's 6'5", full muscles. He probably goes around 250 to 270. Not really sure. But with the combination of the three of them and him hitting a bump, it causes the tire to come up high enough that it's rubbing on those where they stick in. So there is a couple fixes for this. Either just stay with a 130 tire, or stay with the factory shocks, or maybe set the spring pressure a little higher on those shocks. The other thing you can do is, if it's going to be close, and I've done this on my chopper, is you take a sanding disc and sand this little bit of ridge off the tire. You don't have to sand much. 1/8 inch would have probably been enough. The way I do it on my chopper is I put a sanding disc on my angle grinder. I lift the rear wheel off the ground, and then I sit here and spin the rear wheel and sand that little ridge off, because my fender is very close to my tire on my chopper, and I'll show you that right now. You can see the distance right here, and you can also see where I took and ground that tire right there just a bit. And that gets me the clearance I need on both sides of this fender. On this tire, I probably took a 1/4 inch off each side. And there you can see it on the other side. That's the price of having things look the way you want them. Sometimes you got to modify just a little bit to compensate for that. It doesn't do any damage to the tire that you have to worry about. There's plenty of extra rubber there. I've done that to the 3 tires I've had on this chopper. Unfortunately, I'm going to put this bike back together. This is where I stop. I don't have time to be involved in a full wiring job on this motorcycle. And this is more of a wintertime job. So we'll see at some point if this bike ends up back on my channel. I do appreciate everybody watching, and I appreciate everybody's support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.